So hi guys and girls, freshly back from, well not freshly back from holidays in St Ives, Carbish Bay, really lovely. I'm looking forward to bringing you the chat through about the St Ives Brewery. So that's going to be coming out a really nice time there, and just didn't realise how good their beers were and how good they are at brewing. Anyway, I've got my keg of Old Original here, and I really just fancied having one of them. But it says that you've got to open the CO2 valve and leave it for at least half an hour. So I thought, well, whilst I'm waiting, I picked this up from Austell today. Seeing as we're talking about the Cornish breweries, St Austell Brewery, Cornish beer, Cornish best, crafted out at 3.4% ABV. So I thought, while I'm waiting for that, I might as well crack this open and have a little chat to you about it. So I've got sort of like Cornish best. Oh dear, now am I using the wrong glass here? Do you know what? I might. Yes. Where have I just put it? I've just put it somewhere. It's not an IPA, is it? Or anything. So I might just use a tribute glass that I happen to have lying around. Why not? Seeing as it's from St Austell's Brewery as well, let's use one of their glasses. Let's get it out. Let's get it in. So over these past few weeks and such like researching, we know that one of the biggest killers of beer is oxygen. And what was really interesting about the tour around St Ives Brewery, even though I'm talking about St Austell's Brewery, you know, they're all really friendly. You know, it's like there's none of this sort of like you know, they're like just a big family. All these brewers are. They're fantastic. And so anyway, yeah, the one thing I've learnt is that, well, I've always known that oxygen is, you know, the killer of beer. As soon as you get a cask on a hand pull where you've tapped it and you start pulling it through and the air starts getting in there, this smells really nice. The air starts getting in there. The beer is, that's it, it's degrading, you know, and you're going to get like 3 or 4 days out of a cask in you, know, that's all you're going to get. So the kegs are like really like pushing through. And I know you talk about, there's different types of kegs and things, but yeah, so I've learned to pour your beer and you know, the head of the beer is there to protect the beer, especially with a lot of the you know, like your pilsners and your German lagers and all, you know, and all that sort of stuff. I've been sort of like researching it. Let's pour them hard and let's get a decent bit of foam on there to protect your beer. So anyway, looking at this, it's a lovely colour. Look at that. Lovely amber colour, isn't it? That is really nice. This is a 3.4 ABV beer that's smelling very nice, very malty, sort of like a biscuity malt, which probably would well, it's like it looks a bit more, it looks more darker than sort of like a biscuity sort of malt. As you'd expect, with it being low in the alcohol content, is quite sort of crushable. That's a new word I can't stop using, because all these beers I've been having recently have been so beautiful to just, you want to just smack them down your neck. But slightly hoppy. A slight bitterness to it, nothing to scream about. Quite moreish, quite nice. Probably a tad too cold, maybe. But yeah, I mean, a good beer from St Austell. So quite a light body, but it's balanced quite well. It's not overpowering in the malts. Gives you a little bit of tingle on the tongue. It basically does what it says on the bottle, really. It's Cornish best. It's a bit of a best crafted ale. Very low ABV, so quite sessionable. As you can see, it's going down very easily. Getting more of the malts now on the nose, which I always find, as you've probably seen with my chats about beers, is it takes me a few swigs to actually get some of them flavours on, well, some of the aromas rather on the nose. I've got a book here that Janie's bought me. I'm Lee, doing Lee things. Speno to you guys. Basically, when I'm sort of like doing songwriting or anything like that, I jot down words all over the place. It's all over the place. And she said, like, look, yeah, I've got your book, and I've been writing notes about beer and things. So she's got me this book. So I've got so much beer in this place. I'm doing a little bit of a stock take to see what I've got, and I need to stop buying beer and drink what I've got. So that's what I've come down here for, to just take stock of what I've got, and just get it probably just moved into a store, so that I can work my way through it and just get rid of probably, I don't know, I must have well over 100 beers in here. Yeah, the St Austell Brewery are absolutely fabulous, as you know, and do some very, very good beers, especially one that I really enjoyed over the holiday is the Mena DHU Stout bottle. Well, this is bottle conditioned, but I had one actually. I can't think where we went. There's a really nice place in St Ives, and you can go up on the top. I'll find out, and I'll pop it in here. And you can go up on the top and look out over the sea. And on a sunny day, we went there a few years ago, and we just sat there all afternoon drinking gin and some fine St Austell's beer, and just got, yeah, fairly leathered, but absolutely beautiful. But it was a perfect pint, perfectly poured. It was quite lively and didn't even need to. It ended up with quite a big head on it, but she topped up nicely, and I wanted that head. It was a right temperature, and you could really get hold of all them malts in that. It was all the different, I think there's 6 or 7 different malts in that. It's 6 malts, 6 malt Cornish stout, and they've gone for everything in there. There's just everything in there. This is I think that would go. I think I've probably chilled that a little bit too much. So I'm just stepping in here and saying there's lots of beers where you can experiment with them. So if you chill a beer, you can almost like take away some of the malty taste, if you know what I mean, the the toffee or caramelly or any kind, it's mostly that sort of like more the caramelly type of, like a crystal malty toffee caramelly type of. I don't think you really take much of the roasted sort of malts away. If you get them coffee notes or them really burnt toast sort of like. But if you want to take away, if you can take away the biscuity caramelly toffee type of notes out of a beer by chilling it too much. And then if you warm that beer up, get it a bit more room temperature, you can sort of almost like get the hop side just disappearing a bit and get more of them caramelly notes. So the temperature of the beer is so important. There's the one thing that I want to say is the temperature of the beer is so important. Now, there's a lot of beers that I have where I actually do purposely warm them up. I go a little bit warmer with them, because at the temperature that they're recommended at, and Guinness is one of them, the temperature it's recommended at, you lose so much of the flavour. So I purposely warm beers up, but it's subjective. It's whatever your you know, experiment with beers. But yeah, you know, if you've got a really, really hoppy sort of beer with a little bit of a malty sort of like back end on it, then yeah, you know, get them nice and chilled and get them, you know, you're really only going to get that bit of maltiness right at the back end. But if you've got a beer that's very malt forward, then take that as a don't chill it too much. You want it sort of like a cellar temperature. It's my opinion. You know, you can lose so much flavour, and because this beer is quite malty, but it's just really balanced. So this has got to be the smack on temperature. You can't. There's no point in making that freezing cold, because it's not a beer that wants to be freezing cold. But you don't want to make it like really, really warm. It's a beer that, this is a beer that if you get this at the right temperature at 3.4%, that will give you a lot of flavours, and it's moreish, like you say. Anyway, Speno, back to you, because I'm getting the malty taste out of it, but I don't think I'm getting it as much as I should be, because I think it's a little bit too chilled. So let's have a look on the back what it says. Cornish Best is a well-balanced, easy drinking ale, which it is. Rich malt and biscuit notes. Yes, definitely could tell that it was like a biscuity malt sort of like taste coming through there, and the smell. Complemented subtle fruit and toffee flavours. I've not got a lot of fruit, to be honest with you. And I'm not getting a lot of the toffee. And no, and I promise you, I've not read. I'm trying my best not to read anything on these bottles before I do this. I really want to like, because I think Tom at Crummy Beard, he did a fantastic video the other day about like just basically blind testing beers and things, because we just rely on what it says on the can or on the bottle. So I haven't read this until right now, but yes, a hint of bitterness, definitely. There's just a tiny little bit of bitter, but a very well balanced beer. I might just leave this to warm up for a little bit, because I really want to. So I'll leave this to warm up 5 minutes, and then I'll come back to you. Well, probably a little bit longer. It'll probably be about a second. So we are back, and I've let this warm up a little bit. We are at 21 degrees in here. You can see that it's a bit warmer. I know that sounds daft, but you can sort of like, when a beer's really cold, you can see that it's cold, and you can now see that that's, you can, I don't know, am I talking rubbish? But I can see when a beer's a bit warmer, and I'm getting more of them biscuity malt aromas out of this now. There is, if you really search for it, it's really, really hard to get any fruitiness out of that. So it must be very subtle and just there as part of the subtle bitterness as well. But a really nice moreish malty smell there. Yeah, everything's very subtle, if you know what I mean. It's like nothing's really hitting you in the face. Everything's really, it is a proper sessionable beer. That's what it's doing, exactly what it says on the bottle. So yeah, it's basically a rich malt and biscuit notes, and yeah, fruit and toffee flavours. The fruit flavour, not a lot of fruit flavour, to be honest with you, if I'm being honest. But you know, there is a very subtle bitterness there, and you know, there is a refreshingness about it as well. Everything's very sly. The biscuity malt is quite forward. The malt, no, nothing's forward. It's really balanced, really well. Very subtle bitterness, slight bit of fruit, slight bit of toffee, slight bit of caramel malt. It's all very subtle, but I'll tell you something. For a 3.4% beer, that was really nice. Moreish sessionable ale, full of character. Yeah, that's it. To describe that, moreish, it is very moreish. Everything that's in there is just in there together. Just, they're all playing on the same sheet. Nobody's trying to sort of like, no flavours are trying to jump out anywhere. I'd actually really, to be honest with you, I'd actually like to drink that at room temperature. I'd like to drink that probably about 14 degrees. I think that would really, there's a lot of flavour going on in there really for a 3.4% sort of like just Cornish best. So yeah, I'd grab yourself one of them and enjoy it, because yeah, it's a St Austell's beer at the end of the day. You know it's going to be good. So anyway, enjoy the evening or the weekend or the day or whatever you're doing. And I just want to say another big thank you to all the subscribers. I think we're up to 120 now. It's really starting to just build slightly. And yeah, so take care everybody, and live, love, laugh. And yeah, stay safe and keep tuning in. Thank you very much.